Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the American Red Cross of Virginia's Help Can't Wait 2022 event. I'm Jasmine Turner with NBC 12 News, and it really is my pleasure to welcome you to today's celebration where we will be hearing from your American Red Cross leadership and recognizing just a few of the Red Cross's humanitarian partners from the Virginia capital area. The Red Cross is near and dear to my heart, especially working with NBC 12. They always answer the call for any television story and to come into our Call 12 Center here in the studios that are right behind me, answering the phones, taking donations, being a resource to our community. I'm so thankful for everything that the Red Cross has done for our community and for our news station in particular as we work to be on the side of our viewers. But the mission of the American Red Cross is to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and, of course, the generosity of donors. All of this is accomplished through the steadfast commitment to 7 fundamental principles: humanity, impartiality, neutrality, independence, voluntary service, unity, and universality. The staff and extensive core of Red Cross volunteers prioritizes the organization's 5 core values each and every day. Those are to be compassionate, collaborative, creative, credible, and committed. An exceptional embodiment of these values is the regional chief executive of the American Red Cross in Virginia, Mr. James Hatcher III.
Thank you very much, Jasmine. As always, we are so appreciative of your support given by both you and by NBC Channel 12. So let me start by saying good morning. Thank you for joining today's Help Can't Wait celebration. While we had hoped to do this celebration for the Capitol and Rappahannock chapters in person, we are again virtual this year. And regardless, we are grateful and excited to be spending this time with you this morning. I also want to acknowledge and welcome the newest member of our Virginia Region leadership team, Tricia Wolfrey. Tricia recently joined the Virginia region as the executive director of our Rappahannock chapter and is already bringing great value to our mission delivery. So welcome to the team, Tricia. I am so proud of the work that your American Red Cross has completed this past year, accomplishments that we could not have achieved without your dedication, your commitment, and your investment in support of our mission. I want to take a moment to specifically thank a few of our community partners who make our work possible: Bon Secours, Carter Bank and Trust, Columbia Gas, Dominion Energy, Merrill Lynch, Summit Information Systems, VCU Health, and Waco. And I want to say a special thank you to Altria and CarMax, who not only help support our everyday mission activities, but who also participate in the most significant national partnership as the annual Disaster Giving Program, supporting our readiness activities across the country. Thank you to Anitra Bailey and Kristen Kaplan, who coordinate these partnerships with such thoughtfulness and generosity. This has truly been a unique year, both for the Red Cross nationally and for the Virginia region and our local chapters. We have continued to work in an environment made ever challenging due to COVID and its myriad variants. Continuing to keep donors, volunteers, and staff safe has remained a top priority, while we also strive to fulfill our role in local and national disaster response and blood collection. Currently, the Red Cross continues to support the relief efforts of the International Red Cross in response to the conflict in Ukraine. In addition to our international support, the Red Cross has deployed dozens of service to the armed forces staff and volunteers directly to Eastern Europe to provide assistance to our active military. We are also coordinating with financial donors who have stepped forward to offer their monetary support of our activities. Also earlier this year, the Virginia region worked to provide support to Afghan families who were brought to the U.S. as part of the military's withdrawal from Afghanistan. Thousands of Afghan citizens were supported at Fort Lee and Fort Pickett as part of this effort. We have also continued to serve our direct community. For the 9 months of our fiscal year, which ended March 31st, you have helped the Red Cross provide incredible service to the Virginia communities. Our disaster services team has responded to 831 local disasters, assisting 1,267 families in their darkest hour. This included 1,100 children and 486 seniors. We have installed 1,900 free smoke alarms in homes across Virginia, making almost 900 homes safer. That means that during our 9-year campaign, we've installed nearly 32,000 free smoke alarms in some of our most at-risk communities. We've trained more than 68,000 people in life-saving techniques this year, and 570 elementary school students were provided disaster preparedness techniques to ensure their readiness whatever storm may come. Just truly incredible efforts on the part of our team. Our Service to Armed Forces team support our active duty and veteran armed service members. In this fiscal year, they have provided 16,700 plus services for military families and for military members and their families, including emergency communications, resiliency workshops, financial assistance, casualty assistance, and veterans assistance. And as Virginia's primary supplier providing blood and blood products to hospitals across the Commonwealth, our team has already collected more than 121,000 blood donations from volunteer donors. The blood collected so far this year has helped to save up to 363,000 lives. Again, truly incredible work. I must also express my deep appreciation to the spectacular Red Cross staff, the nearly 1,800 volunteers who both have recommitted themselves to our fundamental principles and core values that Jasmine referenced earlier. Their collaboration, creativity, credibility, compassion, and commitment to serving others is truly unmatched. I am proud to lead this team of dedicated humanitarians. I'm also particularly grateful to the Red Cross Capital and Rappahannock, Virginia board members who volunteer and provide gifts of their time, talent, and treasure in support of our local communities. You'll hear from several of them throughout our program. And we're going to start right now with Andrea Bonomo from VCU Health, who serves as the chair of our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee for the Capital Chapter Board.
My name is Andrea Bonomo, and I'm a member of the Board of Directors of the American Red Cross for the Capital Division here in Richmond, Virginia. The reason why I serve is to help communities in need. I was particularly drawn to the American Red Cross's mission to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. The American Red Cross is also dedicated to social justice issues, including diversity, equity, and inclusion. Serving as a volunteer has allowed me to make a difference in the lives of others, and nothing has been more fulfilling. Thank you to the American Red Cross for all that you do.
Thank you, James, and thank you, Andrea. That is really a wonderful reminder of the important work of the American Red Cross and, of course, all the people that it takes to serve communities in need. It's now my pleasure to introduce you to our keynote speaker for this morning, Ms. Emily Fortman. With 18 years of experience with the American Red Cross, Emily now serves as the Division Disaster Executive for the Central Atlantic Division, which spans the states of Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and the District of Columbia. Ms. Fortman joined the Red Cross as a disaster services volunteer in 2004 following the San Simeon, California earthquake. After deploying the Gulf Coast to support Hurricane Katrina relief efforts, Emily saw firsthand the importance of the Red Cross and its mission before, during, and after disasters. She went on to lead a regional preparedness campaign to better prepare 1 million people in Western Washington state, with emphasis on reaching and engaging vulnerable and underserved communities. After completing a fellowship with the Global Disaster Preparedness Center in 2013, Emily then transferred to the American Red Cross National Headquarters to develop policy and doctrine and bolster relationships with FEMA and other federal partners. She served as a Division Disaster State Relations Director in the Mid-Atlantic Division from 2015 to 2019, and as Division Chief Operating Officer in the Southwest and Rocky Mountain Division until 2021. From 2017 to 2018, Emily served on the steering committee of the North American Humanitarian Response Initiative, which advanced efforts to improve cross-border coordination between the American, Canadian, and Mexican Red Cross national societies following a catastrophic disaster in North America. Emily has served in leadership roles on dozens of large disaster relief operations, including Hurricane Sandy, Matthew, Harvey, Irma, Florence, and Ida, as well as the 2020 Western wildfires and the December 2021 Quad State tornadoes. As a servant leader, Emily is passionate about supporting and empowering Red Cross volunteers and employees, and really takes pride in developing teams of humanitarians who are driven to serve all people with compassion and empathy. Emily holds a bachelor's degree in humanities from Washington State University, an international diploma in humanitarian assistance from Fordham, and a graduate certificate in shelter and settlements from Oxford. She's part of the American Red Cross International Deployment Roster and the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies Shelter Surge Capacity Roster. Emily lives in Maryland and enjoys reading, hiking, traveling, volunteering with Habitat for Humanity, and competing in Spartan obstacle course races. She has time for that in the midst of everything else she does. We want to thank you for being with us this morning, Emily, and can't wait to hear what you're going to share.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Jasmine. I am thrilled to be joining you today to recognize some of our amazing partners and team members who enable the American Red Cross to deliver vital services and assistance to people in need. Thank you for your unrelenting support, your commitment, and your partnership. There are dates in our lives that hold significance. Some of these dates are happy and cause for celebration, births, weddings, graduations. And other dates are life-changing, sometimes because of an unexpected event like a natural disaster or a medical emergency. Every year in the United States, 60,000 households experience a disaster, many of which are home fires. Every day in Virginia and across the country, American Red Cross volunteers ensure that disaster survivors in our neighborhoods and towns have a safe place to stay, a hot meal to eat, and access to health and emotional support, financial assistance in some cases, resources and referrals, but most importantly, a hug and a smile that reminds every person that no matter how bad their day is, the Red Cross will be there to make it a little bit better. In my own life, a date of significance is December 22nd, 2003. At 11:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, a 6.5 magnitude earthquake struck the Central California coast. I grew up in California and I felt many earthquakes, but this one was definitely different. It would ultimately cost between $250 and $300 million in property damage and take the lives of 2 young people in my hometown. But what I remember most from that day was not the cracked stucco walls or the collapsed roofs or even the sinking hot springs in that community. It was the American Red Cross. And over the coming hours and days, hundreds of Red Cross volunteers deployed to my community to help thousands of people affected by that earthquake. These volunteers left their families during the holiday season to help my neighbors and my friends. They left December 23rd, December 24th, sometimes on Christmas Day. I was enamored by what they were doing. They were providing food, shelter, comfort to anyone and everyone who needed it. And they provided this sense of hope that had seemed to disappear in the devastation. Of course, I was familiar with the Red Cross. I knew of them for their CPR and first aid classes. But what I was really, really moved by was the selflessness of these volunteers. They were from all walks of life, all backgrounds. I didn't know any of them, of course, but I was really drawn to their commitment and their passion and their humanity. So 2 months later, I became an American Red Cross volunteer myself. I completed my disaster action team training and I learned about our fundamental principles and the importance of our work before, during, and after disasters. I received a badge and a vest, the red vest. It was coveted, and I was a Red Cross volunteer. Then and now, I see my fellow Red Crossers spreading hope and empathy, and that is what inspires me each day to renew my own commitment to our work and our mission. So here we are nearly 2 decades later, and I've never been prouder of the American Red Cross. For years, the Virginia region has been helping individuals and communities across the Commonwealth prepare for, respond to, and recover from disasters and emergencies. The amazing volunteers and employees of this region have helped at least 21 people be alive today, including 5 children, by installing those free smoke alarms in homes across Virginia. Nationally, we have documented at least 1,275 lives saved since 2014. And what I really love about that statistic is it's an actual quantifiable life saved. Those people are here today because of the work of the American Red Cross. Our goal is to inform and educate people about how we prepare for emergencies, how to respond if and when they do, and we support people through the recovery plans. We work in every community with partners and donors through community leaders to identify those vulnerable populations and help them build resiliency, not only at home, but at work and in their places of worship. The Red Cross has several free mobile apps that offer comprehensive preparedness training and checklists, first aid instructions, emergency alerts, and additional tools and resources that can help all of us be better prepared. I have several of them on my phone, and I use them often just to learn little tidbits about how to be better prepared. So these are available for free on Apple and Android devices. Over my career as a Red Crosser, I've experienced firsthand the increase in frequency and intensity of natural disasters. Many people are displaced for many more days, often in the same communities that experience chronic natural disasters. So we have adapted our models and our projections to be ready for multiple simultaneous disaster relief operations, while also building capacity and also a new program to bolster the community services in those high-risk areas. We're investing in training, volunteer leadership development, community partner support, and hiring local people who can really help us engage and empower residents. As our climate challenges evolve, we must also enhance our community connectedness and integrate preparedness into all that we do. The American Red Cross has continued to evolve and meet global challenges for more than 140 years, and I feel very excited about the future of this organization and confident we will continue to deliver the mission. I often ponder future dates in my life that will impact my career. I expect many more major hurricanes, record-breaking wildfires, floods, tornadoes, and even human-made disasters. My peers and I often discuss the upcoming wildfire season or hurricane season, but we also ponder the year 2040 and what we can do today, the changes we can make today to alleviate human suffering in the future. When Red Crossers deploy domestically or internationally to help disaster survivors, we know the days will be very long and the need will be very great. There's a saying that if you've seen one disaster, then you've seen one disaster, and that is definitely true. But the one thing that is consistent in every disaster relief operation is the Red Cross workforce who step up to help. The people who wear the Red Cross emblem are the best of humanity, in my opinion. I also think about days in my Red Cross journey that have impacted me. And the most recent one was December 10th, 2021, the day the Quad State tornadoes devastated Western Kentucky, which took the lives of 57 and injured more than 500 people. Similar to my experience, December 22nd, 2003, the American Red Cross was there, providing the same impartial, empathetic assistance that helped my neighbors. Many volunteers and employees from Virginia left their families during the holiday season. They wore that Red Cross vest and they embodied our fundamental principles. They were there to console the families who lost loved ones, provide financial assistance to those who lost their homes, and they collaborated with our partners to ensure every single need was met in those communities that lost everything. By the end of that disaster relief operation, more than 900 Red Crossers had donated their time and talent. Today, we're investing long-term recovery dollars in Western Kentucky, and in every state and U.S. territory, we continue to provide free youth preparedness and hands-only CPR training. We install free smoke alarms, and we provide financial assistance to people who lose their homes because of fires and other natural disasters. Whatever the disaster, wherever the need, we will be there. And through the generosity of donors like you, our volunteers and employees are making that same impact Red Cross volunteers had on me in December 2003. And right now, there is a Red Crosser in Virginia helping someone in need. They are wearing that badge and that vest with a lot of pride. I joined the Red Cross because of a significant date in my life, but I continue to be a Red Crosser because every day that we help someone impacted by a disaster is a significant date. Thank Thank you very much.
That was incredible. Thank you, Emily. And I definitely agree with what you said, that every person in the Red Cross who puts on that badge and the vest is the absolute best of humanity. Thank you to all of the volunteers watching today who respond to disasters, no matter how big or how small. And if you are as inspired as I am after hearing Emily speak, please look to the left of your screen. You'll see donation options, and those options will be available through the remainder of the morning. If you're viewing from a mobile device, you'll need to exit the full screen, then scroll down below the video window to make a donation. And you can also text them to Red Cross VA at 76278, or you can visit redcross.org/help can't wait. You can also donate by scanning the QR code that you see on your screen. I'll let you take a moment, make sure you have everything you need. All right. Open the camera on your smartphone, hold your device over that QR code so that it's clearly visible within your smartphone's screen. Then just tap the banner that appears to access the donation options. We once again want to thank all of the Red Cross community partners and sponsors of this event today. And now here is Litz Van Dyke, CEO of Carter Bank and Trust, to share why his company supports the mission of the American Red Cross.
Enriching lives and enhancing communities is something that has been a commitment of our bank since the founding of our company over 50 years ago. That is why we are so proud to partner with the American Red Cross to support the many ways they make our communities better for everyone. No matter if it's helping a family displaced through fire, providing relief during a natural disaster, hosting blood drives, or any of the other countless ways they support our communities, the Red Cross is always there to help in times of crisis. As part of the bank's Care Forward program, Carter Bank and Trust has donated thousands of dollars to support the efforts of the Red Cross. And as a continued way to support the American Red Cross's efforts, Carter Bank and Trust will continue our commitment to donate $10 for every new checking account opened online in and during all of 2022. Thank you to all of our everyday heroes and the team at the American Red Cross for all that you do to enrich the lives of others and enhance our communities.
You want to be jumping off?
We now have 3 special awards to present to Red Cross partners and volunteers who make our mission possible. The Community Leadership Award, presented to the John Randolph Foundation, is up first. The Red Cross Board is full of humanitarians who know the essential need for voluntary blood donors. Every 2 minutes, someone in this country needs life-saving blood, and each blood drive in Virginia requires an enormous supply of specialized equipment and trained staff to collect blood for hospitals every day. Few people know more about the absolute critical need for blood in Virginia than Dr. Kim Sanford, Medical Director of Transfusion Services at Virginia Commonwealth University. Dr. Sanford also happens to be the chair of the board of the American Red Cross in Capital Virginia. So, Kim, we thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Jasmine. The most recent surge of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 brought national severe blood shortages. Physicians everywhere were forced to focus on reserving blood for patients with critical life-threatening conditions. This was a reminder to all of us how precious and limited our blood supply is. Of course, when we're in a time of crisis, we are reminded of this, but the need for blood is daily, hourly, and as Jasmine said earlier, every 2 minutes. I encourage you to consider signing up for your next local blood drive or making a financial gift today. I'm truly honored to be working with the exceptional team at the American Red Cross, and thank you all so much for your support. This morning, I'm pleased to have the opportunity to announce a special Community Leadership Award presented to the John Randolph Foundation in Hopewell. The American Red Cross has partnered with the John Randolph Foundation for 25 years, and the foundation has most recently been a literal lifeline, hosting essential blood drives throughout the COVID-19 pandemic when space and gathering have been at such premiums in the Tri-Cities area. These community blood drives have collected enough blood to help save the lives of more than 1,400 people. And because of these special efforts, alongside the Foundation's long-standing partnership, the Red Cross is thrilled to honor the John Randolph Foundation with this year's Community Leadership Award. Here's Kevin Foster, Director of Programs, alongside Sean O'Berry from the Red Cross at the Foundation's most recent blood drive. And in closing,
I think for John Randolph Foundation, it's important that we understand the plight that our communities are in, whether it's in a time of a fire or a disaster or a shortage of blood. And, you know, we have a local hospital right here in Hopewell that's been the recipient of blood from time to time. So John Randolph Foundation has had a long history with the Red Cross dating back to 1997 with some work with the local chapter here, the Hopewell Prince George chapter, and the Southside chapter in Petersburg. Right. Very proud of that relationship. In March of 2020, Sherry Driscoll contacted us about the need for a space to have blood drives because the schools had shut down, the churches had shut down, the plants had shut down. We told Lisa Sharp, our executive director, invited Sherry in to look at the space and see if this was something that we could do for the community. And today marks our 20th blood drive since April of 2020. Over 480 units, and every time we have an event, the room is full with donors. So these are your donors. So many of them are our donors too, our financial donors. So we're really proud. We're just really honored by the commitment that you have to the Tri-Cities area and to the area as a whole, the region. I'm personally involved with home fire relief in the Tri-Cities area, so I see what this direct assistance to clients does and gets them out of the plight that they're in.
But for people like Kevin and the John Randolph Foundation, the American Red Cross just simply wouldn't be able to expand our mission, deliver our mission anywhere. It's the generosity of the American people, individuals, corporations, foundations, but it's also the community. You're clearly community centric here with this foundation. We're a part of the community, and as you see behind us, people in the community come out here to give blood. It's part of our life-saving mission. Without it, I hate to think where we would be. So we want to just thank you and the John Randolph Foundation for all you do for the American Red Cross, but for other organizations in this community that make it stronger, more resilient, and a wonderful place to live.
Hi, I'm Jason Ancaro, and I'm on the American Red Cross Virginia Board of Directors. I serve because I love the immediate and measurable impact the Red Cross has in our community. We are saving lives with our blood services programs, and we're there meeting basic needs in the first hours and days after a disaster to help those that in some cases have lost everything. We are committed to inclusion and diversity in those we serve and those we seek out to serve as volunteers. If you want to impact your community and serve with fantastic people, you should consider becoming involved as a volunteer, a blood donor, or consider providing financial support. I'm so proud that my employer chooses to support the American Red Cross. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your board service, Jason, and thank you, CarMax, for your incredible support of the Red Cross. Your investment in our mission truly touches the lives of people in their moment of greatest need. Right now, I'm pleased to recognize another incredible community partner this morning, and that's our very own NBC 12. Jasmine, thank you so much for hosting this program again this year and for the special partnership that NBC 12 has with the American Red Cross in Virginia and has had for so many years. Here's an example of the incredible work that your team has done.
On the ground in Kentucky this afternoon, getting his first up-close look at the devastation from this past weekend's deadly tornadoes. Parts of homes and lives have been torn apart and scattered for miles. Dozens have died, and days later, more than 100 people are still missing. People from all across Central Virginia have jumped into action to help those who are hurting and in need. NBC 12 teamed up with the American Red Cross for a two-night Call 12 to give back, and you all certainly stepped up and in a pretty big way. Eji Nwoko is live in the Call 12 Center tonight with a look at just how your efforts have helped. So, AJ, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of generosity. Tell us about it.
Yeah, there sure was. Whenever there is a tragedy, Central Virginia is always up to the challenge of helping those who are hurting. And in the past two days are proof of it. You helped us raise an incredible $74,000 right here in the Call 12 Center. After a wave of unimaginable devastation from the deadly tornadoes in the heartland last weekend.
Thank you so much for your generous donation. This is Channel 12, and this is the Red Cross Volunteer. And let me get some information. Your donation, please.
Comes an unyielding lifeline of support from the people of Virginia.
This $100 donation will go very far.
In a time of great need, it was you at home who answered the call.
50, that's good. That's great. That's a good donation. I have your donation for $50.
And we had someone call in today that said he and his wife were not going to do Christmas presents this year, and instead they used that money to donate to the families impacted by the recent tornadoes.
And kept the Call 12 phone lines ringing off the hook with donation after donation.
That's wonderful.
Big and small.
Very, very, very generous.
Flowing in to support the Red Cross and its relief efforts for the lives most impacted in Kentucky.
The outpouring of support was amazing. The phones rang pretty much nonstop both days from the time the phone lines opened.
And those donations quickly added up. Day one alone, the Call 12 Center raised more than $31,000 with another generous donation from Woodfin Oil, which matched an additional $20,000. And Thursday, the Commonwealth came through once again, tacking on an extra 20 grand, fueled by sizable donations called in and the last moments of the telethon.
Wow. I can't even. Wow.
In a total of 5 hours over 2 evenings, with your help, we raised more than $74,000.
That $74,000 will go a long way to helping to provide food and shelter, blankets, cots, those types of things that people will need in the immediate aftermath.
It just goes to show that when it matters most, the Lovers State has enough heart to go around for the people who need it most.
Whether they're helping their neighbor next door or their neighbor 6 states away, that we always step up to help take care of those in need.
Now, while this Call 12 fundraiser may be over, the need is still great from volunteers, blood donations, and even more big monetary donations. The Red Cross is in need of all of it, and we have all the ways you can get connected on our news app. For now, on your side, AJ Nwoko, NBC 12.
Well, like you heard in that video, just wow. We simply could not do our work without partners like NBC 12. In the last 5 years alone, telethons hosted by NBC 12 have raised more than $400,000 to support disaster relief events, both at home and across the country. Jasmine, you and your colleagues have continued to find ways to cover our needs for critical life-saving blood. The station has helped fill appointments at many of our blood drives, and this effort has kept blood on the shelves at local hospitals across the entire Virginia region. Your continuing coverage of Red Cross life-saving programs, including the importance of learning CPR and water safety, and the coverage of smoke alarm installation initiatives, each tell a compelling and valuable story. For all that you do for the Red Cross and the residents in Virginia, I am pleased and honored to present NBC Channel 12 with the Community Engagement Award for outstanding support to the American Red Cross mission.
Thank you so much, James. I get chills watching that story, not just only hearing the phones ringing, but just seeing the people who are there dedicating their time and effort to answering the call. I did want to thank Christy Carneal, who was in that story, who brought the award by yesterday for us. And I am accepting this on behalf of our entire NBC 12 family. Want to say thank you on behalf of our general manager, Kim Greenidge, and our news director, Frank Jones, who wanted to be on this today, but they couldn't be. But we appreciate the Red Cross. And I said it at the beginning of this. We say thank you for you all always answering the call to collaborate with us. And I know that this is a partnership that will continue for many years to come. So thank you, thank you, thank you, really is all I can say. I want to introduce you all now to a special guest for the last award for this morning. Michael Lira joined the Red Cross in 2015. He currently serves as the Virginia Regional Direct Services Manager, which oversees mass care and client-facing services. So we want to thank Michael so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Jasmine. It's my pleasure today to present the 2022 Reggie Gordon Community Service Award. Many of you know Reggie well. He is our former Virginia Region CEO and beloved member of our Richmond community. We named this special award in his honor because of his true humanitarian work and ongoing commitment to the betterment of our city and surrounding area. This year, we are honored to recognize an extraordinary woman. For some people, signing up to volunteer means finding time in their lives to do something great around what they do. For Ellen White, it is finding time for her life around volunteering. Here's Reggie to introduce this award.
I am Reggie Gordon. I'm the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Human Services for the City of Richmond. And formerly, I was the CEO of the Virginia Region for the American Red Cross. I am so honored to share some good news. The good news is we have so many people, and I know this very well, who dedicate their life and time and energy because they care. They care and have this tremendous volunteer spirit. They, day or night, whether it's blood drives or helping with all manner of activities, we have people, special people, who are dedicated to that craft. That's why, congratulations, Ellen White. Ellen's willingness to deploy whenever she needs to answer that call or to support her fellow volunteers is tremendous. And for that, we say thank you.
Ellen White embodies the definition of a dedicated and impassioned Red Cross volunteer who serves the capital community and the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. Ellen is our Virginia Region Logistics Lead, and she has also deployed to help at more than 30 national disasters in both logistics and sheltering. Locally, she has responded to numerous home fires to help displaced families, helped open and operate shelters, helped at blood drives, and support both veteran and active duty military events. Ellen has proven to me and to the regional team what it takes to be a team player, how to put the mission of the Red Cross first. She is compassionate for those who have suffered a great loss due to a disaster and a willingness to do whatever is needed to provide relief and assistance. During the last 2 years of the pandemic, Ellen White, understanding the importance of keeping our volunteers and the staff safe, ensured each territory was stocked with PPE. Driving to each chapter in the region, Ellen delivered the protective equipment. Finishing that project, which took several weeks, she once again tackled another to ensure the safety of anyone driving a Red Cross vehicle by sanitizing them so no one driving a car or emergency vehicle could be exposed to COVID. When faced with summer heat and the shelter trailers needing to be updated, Ellen called me and told me she wanted to engage the logistics volunteers to organize and update our shelter trailers, which make a huge difference when we need them for hurricane season or on a multifamily fire. Ellen is a continued learner and is taking classes to further her knowledge in logistics by becoming a trainer for warehouse equipment, including forklifts. This knowledge and ability to train others will benefit teams on future disaster response operations who need the necessary skills to accomplish their jobs. Ellen White will always answer her phone with a cheerful greeting. She has a disaster vest shined and ready to go whenever the need takes her. Demonstrating the 5 C's on every job site: compassionate, collaborative, creative, credible, and committed, provides the job directors or myself the confidence the job will be done exactly as it should. The Virginia region would not be as successful as we are without Ellen White, nor would we meet the needs of our clients without her. I can go on and on bragging about Miss White, but those of us who have the blessing of working with her and calling her friend understand how invaluable she is to us all.
It was 2017. I saw a commercial, and they say need volunteers, and I said I can do that. So I did my paperwork and I joined, and it's been 5 years now. When I joined, I did what I normally do, logistics. So it was no different than what I did working for the Department of Defense. So I stuck with what I knew. My first deployment was Maria, Puerto Rico. I was scared, didn't know what I was going to be doing. But once I got there, I got to meet people and to see the people that needed someone to help them. It was hot feeling. We just jumped in, didn't care how many hours we worked a day. We just worked. It's always about the people. It's never about us, because they have just went through a life-changing experience, and to help them is always about the people. I've always been a caregiver, thinking about other people, and the more you do, the more you want to give. When you join the Red Cross, they become family. They're not friends, they're family. And even the clients have become family. I keep in touch with a client to this day, call, texting, how you doing? So it's not friends, it's family, and that's how we do it. Going back to Puerto Rico, to see 70-year-old women, kids, to help them out, say, I'll take this case of water for you, and they would say, no, I can handle it. That touched my heart. And it's hard to see someone much older than I am, but had full of life, to be appreciative of what we have left our homes to come help them. And it just, that's nothing. My husband support me when I'm out, and sometimes I have to go home, but when I'm out there, only person I'm thinking about is doing my best for the client. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep coming out. Keep deploying. Keep your friends close to you, your clients in your mind, in your heart. Just keep doing what you're doing.
It's about the people. What a generous, compassionate, and selfless woman. Congratulations, Ellen, on this special recognition, and thank you for your hard work and dedication. I will say that when I think about plans for my life in the future, I've said for a long time that I would love to be able to put on that red vest and deploy somewhere to make a difference for someone. So seeing someone like Ellen inspires me for the future. But I want to give another special thank you to all of you watching today who have been generous volunteers, blood donors, financial donors. Your gifts have clearly saved lives, and many here at home and all around the country have been impacted, and their lives have been changed in some way because of it. From patients at hospitals to families impacted by home fires, from veterans who need a little help or just a hug, to neighbors helping neighbors when someone needs CPR or first aid. There truly isn't a part of the community the Red Cross does not touch. Compassion for others, thoughtfulness in deeds, and generosity in times of need are the very essence of what makes the world a better place and what makes the Red Cross mission so powerful. I hope this morning's program has demonstrated the extraordinary impact your support has made across Virginia. Truly, none of this life-saving work would be possible without you. So thank you again for joining us this morning, and thank you for supporting the American Red Cross. It's an honor to be here again with you this year, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.